法律101。
听众朋友们大家好，欢迎收听在今天带给朋友们的这个法律101。在感恩节的当天啊，朋友们吃火鸡这个聚餐的同时，也别忘了你要到哪里去，你开车啊，这个路途当中交通这一定要注意，小心慢行，一定要注意这个安全问题。但是呢，和开车和我们的这个交通方面所延伸出来的种种法律方面的问题，我们在今天会继续和这是车祸专业律师 Mr. Littleton 和他的华裔助理 Connie 继续在节目当中带给大家，欢迎朋友们一块儿收听。两位好 ，Welcome to join the show。Good
morning, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving coming.
Turkey Day.
感恩节快乐。
哦，这是广东话的，节日快乐。这是
对
，It's called Turkey Holiday. 哎呀，在今天呢，这个感恩节啊，去年感恩节大家比较紧张，因为疫情比较严重。今年的话，应该来讲是比较松一点。比较松一点，大家这个聚餐的机会就增加了，所以在外头开车的机会也增加，所以我一开始就要提醒朋友们特别的注意。好，我在这里呢要先听众朋友带进来的几个问题啊，我想先和就是 Mr. Littleton 讨论，也请 Connie 来协助来做翻译。这个听众问到的就是他说这个在巷子出来，结果呢前面停的是 18-wheelers 这个18轮大卡车的大车头不是整台的，他特别强调一个很大的车头停在那儿，但是呢他是要左转，这个车子呢停在那里呢，他没有办法看得到，就是我看没有，他是要右转，他说他右转，车子停在那边他看不到那一边直来的车子就是要转过来的，他要右转，但是因为他挡在那里，他看不到，他就一直他要往前他要往前呢就会出去嘛，就会到前面一点，比较出去一点。结果他看的时候，他觉得他看到这里没有，就是车子距离还远而且他的这条 lane 是没有车的，他的那个车子是下一个 lane。不在这一条 lane，是在旁边那个 lane，所以呢他就转过来了。结果转过来的时候呢，另外一条 lane 的车子呢就换过来，结果就擦撞了，就这样子擦撞他。然后呢对方说是他的错，他说这个不是，他已经看到了是对方的错。那么现在的话就是想要问的就是在这样子的情形下，这一个责任归属是怎么样？还是说他们双方都可以说那个是 18-wheelers， 他怎么可以停在这边，挡得我们大伙儿都看不到路？所以这个是这个责任归属，所以这是第一位我们听众朋友提出的问题。
好的，我问一下，那个他右转，然后那个18-wheeler 的车头，他是停在他的就是比如说他要转进去那个主道，那个 18-wheeler 是停在主道的最右线吗？还是在哪里？
他是停在 OK， 他如果右转的话，那个 18-wheeler 就是因为他右转，他 18-wheeler 是停在慢车道，就是最靠右边的最右边的 lane。
他要转进去的这一条街的慢车道，对不对？
对，那他转他看不到，
在他的左边，对不对？
没有啊，他右转，他右转 ，OK， 我们这样子讲他向右转，然后等于是说这一个 intersection， 这个岔路的另外一边，对，在他的左边，对 ，Connie 你对了，在他的左边是那个 18-wheeler 的那个大车头。
OK。那所以然后这一位听众他转进去的时候，他是转进去这个 18-wheeler 这个停在慢车道，他是转到慢车道上面。
对，他是转到慢车道，因为他说他看到另外的车子是在隔壁，我不晓得那是两条 lane 还是3条 lane， 对，就是不在这一条 lane，所以他就想说他就转到这一条 lane， 结果呢，他说结果转过来，结果后面那辆车子就唰过来，就跟他擦在边了，擦边了。
所以对方也换线，他也是小道转右到主道这样子。对，所以谁对谁错呢？这个情况对吗？
这个就不知道了。所以他们在想，他现在说双方可不可以双方合起来，就是18毁了的。
OK， 好，我问一下老板啊。Hey Larry, we have someone a caller asking about an accident which is difficult to differentiate who has the liability because of a parked 18-wheeler tractor. So this caller is going to make a right turn from a side street onto the main road. And then that 18-wheeler is parked on the very right lane of the main road. Okay? And then, so he has to make sure that the main road is clear for him to make the right turn. So after he is sure that on this lane of the 18-wheeler, which is the right lane, okay, the 18-wheeler is parked on his left side. And then, so this lane is clear. He made a right turn. But at the same time, the lane next to the 18-wheeler, there's a vehicle next to the 18-wheeler on the next lane, switch lane onto the caller's lane, and so resulted in an impact. So both of them said that it's the 18-wheeler blocking their view, and then so our caller made a right turn, and the other party said he changed lane and didn't see him. So in this situation, who has the liability, or can they both of them blame the parked 18-wheeler, which is parked on the right lane?
No, if the 18-wheeler was parked and they had their flashing lights on because of something wrong with the vehicle, then it's just a vehicle in distress. And because they have their flashing lights on, people are aware of it. The client turning into the right lane and then moving forward, and the other vehicle moving from the middle to the right lane, in that situation is clearly the liability of the other driver. But it doesn't have anything to do with the 18-wheeler. The 18-wheeler is stopped. So now, if this was at night and there were no flashers, then it might be different. But as long as the 18-wheeler is visible, and as long as its flashers are on, indicating that it's a stopped vehicle, then it's done everything it's supposed to. That means everybody is supposed to avoid the traffic, avoid the 18-wheeler as much as possible. The lane change is what produced the accident. The failure to see the client on the right-hand lane, seeing that person in the right-hand lane, is clearly the fault of the second vehicle, not the 18-wheeler.
OK 啊，老板就说，其实这一个停在路边的那个 18-wheeler， 他就说他会因为这个还是一个主道嘛，所以我们都不知道这个18-wheeler 那个车头是一直停在那里，就是 park 是停车拍车，还是呢他是突然间有一个紧急的事情，所以他的那个 emergency light， 他的紧急的那个灯号亮了，然后告诉其他道路的使用的人，就说他有一个紧急，他要停在那里。因为如果他都有把他的 flashing light 都打开了，然后大家都会知道他就是停在那里。所以对于这个 18-wheeler 来讲，他没有什么做的大意或者是不小心，或是有错的地方。那他就说这个客人就右转到这一条右线上面，是对方换线造成的车祸。所以呢，他就说那个责任应该是属于对方的，因为是他在一个没有看清楚的情况下换线。
OK， 所以
我不知道有没有回答到这个。
我想有回答了。所以说这样子来讲的话，还是不能够把责任归到 18-wheeler 头上吗？
对，不可以，
不可以把责任放到 18-wheelers 的头上。好，这是我们这一位听众提出的问题。好，下边这一个问题呢，是我们听众问到的呢，是说呢，在这个他是讲在 Gessner， 他说他在 Gessner 那一边靠近 Harwin 的地方，因为旁边呢在修路，可能在有道路工程，他在道路工程的这个地方呢，他停下来因为 block 这个 road， 所以他要 switch 到旁边的 lane 去走。那么但他 switch 的时候，他的 lane 被挡下来了，他停下来后 switch 到旁边，后面的车子也就没有停，就直接就这样子过来了。这个他说这个一样的这种情形下面，他是被撞的，这应该是后面的错吗？
被追尾，
被追尾，对。但是呢，后面的说我在我的 lane 上面，你转过来，你要换到我的 lane，你要看我啊。你没有看我啊，你就这样子冲出来，你怎么能怪我呢？然后他说我前面有这个道路，他在讲，我们听众说这个道路施工，要不是只有我一个人看到，你旁边的人都会看到，躲在后面的车子都要换烂啊。所以这个是因为追撞他的追尾的这一个没有 pay attention， 不够注意旁边要换烂，因为道路施工的驾驶呢，还是我们的听众要换烂之前，就算知道别人都看到施工被挡下来了，大家都要走旁边要换了。这个是旁边的这一位呢，没有想到，没有 pay attention， 在这一个道路施工到底是怎么样子。
Okay. So we have another situation involving lane change, and then this situation is at Gessner and Harwin, so near Gessner and Harwin intersection, in which there is construction going on. So the caller has to switch to the next lane because there is construction in front of him. So in the process of switching to the other lane, then he got rear-ended. And then the vehicle that rear-ended him said that, because I am driving on my lane, and so you suddenly change lane, and it is your fault. But then, of course, the caller thinks that because of construction, everybody has to merge onto one lane. So, and then you rear-ended me, so it is your fault. So in this situation, whose fault is it has to bear the liability?
Okay, well, general rule is that when you move to one lane or the other, the vehicles in that lane that you are moving into are supposed to be yielded to. So the ongoing traffic in that lane has a right of way. Now, if the traffic was very slow, the individual had his blinkers on to move on and was going very slow, then there might be able to make what we call a comparative negligent claim. You start off with 100%. And if there is contributing negligence on the part of the driver behind him, say, for example, going too fast for the circumstances at hand. If it is a construction site and it's got notifications of construction, then you're supposed to slow it down and look for people moving lanes. If that is an area that is under construction signage and everybody is reduced speed and this individual hits, then there's a good chance you can prove comparative negligence, 40 or 50%, depending on, the individual facts. But in a lane change case, the golden rule is whoever is the person changing lanes must yield to the other lanes in traffic. And the second part of it is that in a lane change case, it is very important to have a witness or a dash cam because many of them just become a swearing match between two people.
其实一个大家都要很清楚的规矩就是你换线，在本来的线上面的车就有路权，所以你换线的话是对方有路权。OK， 那但是呢，在这个情况下，因为我们要看当时候的每一个案子都有不同的facts， 就是怎么发生啊，撞到哪里啊，都有不同。但是如果这个是一个 construction 是有做工程的那个地方，可能大家都慢下来了 ，OK， 大家都慢下来，然后你要 merge， 你要就进入另外一条线，你也有把你的灯号，你的左转或者右转灯，你都要亮起来。但是如果是因为对方在那个有工程的地方的那个区域，他开得很快， 那就有可能，虽然他有路权 ，OK， 因为你是换线，但是虽然他有路权，但是因为大家都慢下来了，但是他还是开得很快，所以就撞到你的话，有可能有一些的责任就在他身上，我们叫这个叫 comparative negligence， 也是说大家双方的那个对比的那个责任，对比的责任就从那个百分比，就从0开始，比如说是他10%，你90%，他40%你60%，他50%你50%这样子。那这一些怎么分配呢？就看当时候的意外是怎么发生。但是老板就提醒大家，所有的换线的案子都是很难的，除非你有证人或是行车记录仪，我们常常讲的。
OK， 这位听众有行车记录仪，但是他说他的行车记录仪是往前看，不是往后看。他在前窗，就是往前的，就是说他换了，他那个行车记录仪是放在是在那个 dashboard， 在那个上面是往前的他说我这个记录仪只看前面，我看到他说我要蹦蹦蹦，我那个记录看得到我的车子蹦蹦蹦。他说这个记录仪
我可以问一下呀，因为有时候行车虽然是看前面，但是那个碰撞是碰撞的那个什么时候撞过来，或是那个碰撞的力量之类的，有机会那个行车记录仪都可以有记录。那我们问问老板，如果有行车记录仪，好那这个在这个情况来讲，可以怎么证明得到客人的那个部分？Actually, the caller has a dash cam, but the dash cam, captures everything in front. So in this kind of lynching situation, how can the dash cam video prove liability or who has the comparative negligence on the other party?
The dash cam can be utilized to show the time of leaving the lane and then the time of actual impact. The longer the period of time for the impact to occur after the lane change, the greater the chance that person in that lane was speeding or should have been able to stop. So the dash cam can help determine the sequence of events and the timing of the impact. The second thing that it can do is the impact itself will cause the dash cam to react, and it will record the reaction of the vehicle directly in front. In such a way that it is obvious that it was a major impact. It was not just a bump, for example.
OK. 好，那好了，那我们有这个行车记录仪，虽然是看前面，但是那个撞击在后面，但是呢，老板说这一个video 也可以让我们知道整个事情的时序，是不是这样讲？那个 sequence of event。那因为呢，你那个 video 可以看得到，你换了那条线上面已经有多久，然后才被撞的。如果你刚刚进去已经被撞，跟你已经在这一条道上面，然后才被撞的话，那个分别就是你在这一条线是新的这个转进去的这个新的一条线上面，时间越长对你越有利。OK， 所以你是刚刚转进去就被撞的话，那就很明显是你的错了。那还有呢，虽然是看前面，但是那个撞击也会让那个镜头会有反应，就是比如说是震动还是怎么样，所以呢那个镜头它的摆动的那个角度也会告诉我们那个撞击力是强还是轻的。如果是轻轻碰一下的，可能你就看到那个镜头没有什么有大的改变。如果是一个大的碰撞的话，你都会看到你的镜头在嘣嘣嘣嘣，好像在震动一样。所以呢，还是有用的。
OK， 所以这个行车记录仪，所以我们还是建议朋友们还是要尽量的安装对自己来讲，用最新的科技来保护自己的权利和法律方面的这一个保护提醒大家。
对。我们有时间讲一下那个证人的那个。
可以，当然可以
吗？
可以，
因为我们最近有一个就是有一个客人，他找到一个非常好的证人，他已经都离开现场了，然后他再回来就帮他作证。 那所以我们讲 Thanksgiving 感恩，那我们这个客户就非常的感恩，有那么好的人，他看到意外怎么发生，明明都离开了，但是又觉得我还是要回去帮他做证人。那我们让老板讲一下这一个好人好事，好吗？
好的。
So Larry, because it's Thanksgiving, do you want to share with us the story about the Good Samaritan who helped our client being the witness? Because we talk about witness and dash cam. Do you want to share the story?
Oh, yes. It was one of those stories that you like to hear about. The client was in the left lane. The other driver was in the lane adjacent to them. And as they were proceeding, there was a lane change. The witness was directly behind the client and witnessed everything. It was clear that our client was not liable. However, after the impact, the other driver blamed our client for changing lanes, saying that they did not change lanes. Well, because after the impact, both vehicles were aligned on the other side of the roadway, and they called the police. The witness gave information to our client, I believe, getting the phone number and doing a text message. In the text message, not only did that witness say his name and phone number and contact, but it also gave the facts of what that person witnessed. When the police officer arrived, the client showed the text to the police officer. The officer, wanting to verify the facts, then called that individual witness, and she gave a statement to the police officer. The police officer held that it was sufficient evidence, and a ticket was issued to the other driver. So in this particular situation, the witness stopped and gave the information that was necessary to call her back, but she had to leave before the police came because of prior engagement. I believe she was getting late for work. But the point is that many people, after an accident occurs and they witness something, they just keep on going. They assume that it's clear who's liable and what was responsible. And it's not always true. So when people, based on their own background, take it upon themselves to be a witness, to make sure that justice is entered and making sure that everyone knows and understands what really happened. So the moral of the story is, if you're a witness, stay there and do your job. It's part of our justice system.
所以在这个案子里面呢，我们的客人很感恩，就是很谢谢这一个证人，他已经都因为这个证人是在我们客户的后面的，然后呢，在这个意外里面呢，对方说我们客户换线，但是我们客户没有，是对方换线。然后呢，这个证人其实都已经经过了那个路口了，但是他就回来，他把他的名字、电话号码，还有他用短信写出来刚才意外是怎么发生，全部都发给我们客户。但是他因为要上班了，他要离开。但是警察到了以后，我们客户就把这一个证人他的 text message、电话号码、名字就给警察，警察也打过去给这个证人去确认是不是有这一些事情发生。然后呢，也是因为这个证人的这个好人好事，然后呢，对方那个警察也知道是对方的错，也就给了对方一个罚单。
哇，
对，所以我们就老板就说，我们如果是看到意外的发生的话，其实你就可能很多人都以为就应该他们可以了，他们应该 OK， 他们都应该都知道，但是未必的，因为很多时候就是证人就是非常非常重要的去一个环节，所以我们也很谢谢这个证人，
真的是这是好人好事啊，真的是有心啊，这样子在今天我们感恩节啊，这个真的是适逢其时，在这里呢分享这样一则感人的故事啊，感人的事件。时间呢也在这个分享当中啊，很快的进入尾声。在今天我们和Mr. Littleton 以及 Connie 带给大家的法律101也要在这里告一段落了。再次的谢谢他们两位的参与，也祝我们的听众以及祝他们都有一个温馨、平安、快乐的感恩佳节。我们下一次空中再聊了，好吗？ Thank you for joining us today and happy Thanksgiving And
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Okay.
Be careful.
Be careful. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
拜拜，拜拜。